guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it's time for another budget review. Yeah, I'm really getting into these weekly budget reviews. It was something that I didn't think I would actually enjoy doing, but I am actually looking forward to them. So to get this out of the way, this is where I'm keeping my funds from my daily savings. It's like a little mini cash envelope thing that I just quickly put together. Nothing fancy, but as you can see, it is the same as last week's review because I only put the funds in on my paydays, so we won't be adding to this until next week. At least next week for Yins. It's going to be this week for me, but next week's review for you. So I'm just going to put him to the side because we're not doing nothing with it. And again, if those of you are new or you haven't seen me introduce this planner, this is the Hemlock and Oak 2023. I refer to it as the Bible of planners. Just because like that is what it puts me in mind of. I mean, this thing is solid and it's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'm budgeting in the Bible of planners. Still gotta put my name in this. I don't know why I wait so long on that, but yeah. So good things happened today. Our first account is paid off, so that is it for the blue, and that means that Cole's coming for you. So let's go ahead. Since I told you I was starting to color code this, so let me make sure I'm on screen too, because this is a different shaped book. So let's go ahead and mark down Coles. No idea if I'm spelling it correctly. To me, that's how it's spelled. Love shopping there, just can't pronounce it. Or, well, I can pronounce it, I can't spell it. It's morning time, guys. Okay. So, we're gonna make them summer green because I think of green when I think of their card. So that is going to be my new card of focus. Now, I'm not projected to have this thing paid off until March. But, I mean, I'm telling you right now, I think after what we witnessed with Walmart here, I think I can get this thing paid off in February. So that's kind of cool. And you may be wondering, like, why are you writing it twice? It's already written in here. These are my projected pay by dates. So, like, I'm not projected to have Kohl's paid off until March. But what I did is I highlighted, like, you could definitely see with Walmart here, this is easy, is that, like, this one is highlighted in blue because those are the days that it took me to pay off Walmart. Where with Kohl's, of course, this is going to start in summer green, and whenever I get this thing paid off, that's when the summer green's going to end, and then we'll move to a different color for the Cat P. And if you're also wondering where I got these projected dates from, they came from the Stebit app. I don't have my phone readily near me, so I'm not going to show like a flip through of the actual phone app like I did last time. But you basically plug in all of your information and it prints you off this neat little like payoff thing. And this is just one of the payoff charts, and it's the one that I like the most. I think just because it looks like a downhill. It's like I'm cruising down this mountain of debt. And yeah, so this is where I get all of my information from, how much I'm supposed to be paying, how long it's going to take, and I don't know, it's just a nice visual for me. The only thing that is a little concerning to me, which I played around with the app a little bit this morning to see what was going on, and of course I have it set to the avalanche mode, so like cards that I paid off like a year or two ago are still on there. And it was counting their minimums. So like I was like, why is this so high? Because I swear I only do like 900, but there was like an extra 100 on there, and it turns out it was the minimums from those cards. um So that's why Kohl's is set at 119. Uh, right now I'm only paying like the minimum 30. Now that is a $90 difference. So I'm gonna have to really look at what happens next payday. Um, I think I can do the 90, but I want to make sure before I bust all of that on there, like it's not gonna break me and make me have to, rely on a credit card. So I may have to push that $90 onto this, which is it's doable because as we saw, I did 180 in 3 weeks. So I'm pretty sure that I could cover 200, $210 or whatever it is. I'm pretty sure that I could do that in a span of, well, let's see, what would that give me since I'm paid off early here? So I always do my extras here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, yeah, yeah. Yeah, just even looking at that, I know like that splitting it that way is not going to break me. Trying to push out $90 in one day probably will. So, we're going to be generous about those splits. But hey, again, even if I get this thing paid off by then, I'm still a month ahead. So, I mean, it's still a win-win. Um, okay, so yeah, we don't need to cover that no more. We're done with this. This is how I used the, God, these are gorgeous. Uh, I never get over looking at this planner. Like, this thing is extremely well built. Okay, so this is how I used the 2023 year at a glance. I basically put in my well, like paydays, and then of course I have my focus accounts in red, holidays are purple, and then you got your birthdays and taxes are due, and what else do we have? Vehicles, those come up and surprise you, and you're like, oh God, no. I'm even thinking on here, I do want to highlight this. So, focus card, Walmart was paid off on that day. And I think I have a fuzzy stuck to me. I'm going to add in Kohl's on here because that is going to become my focus card on Sunday. So, what? And yes, learning how to write in this, since it does like cave down like a book, is a challenge. But I think we're doing just fine in it. Because, like I said, like I love this thing. So see, there we go. So we're slowly adding on to it, but nothing special, nothing interesting in January. So I like that in my budget planner. It means I'm spending less. And okay, so Detritus. Again, I'm waiting until the end of the month to do this because um, I have to calculate $104.99. So there's probably going to be a little posty note here trying to figure out what I spent, what I didn't spend. I think I burned my fingernail. I'm not quite sure. The things you learn when you're filming. So, yeah, we're not going to be filling any of this out. So, that's January 31st, which I am kind of curious to see how many of these pieces I do get to fill in for January. And I'm trying to figure out how to fill them in. I almost feel like I'm going to take like this color, whatever color I pick for that month. I think I'm just going to color in all the pieces there. Just this, I don't know. I'm one of those people that need to see like, are you paying more or less at a certain time each year? I don't know how I'm going to fill that out yet. So, let's see here. So that brings us to the monthly view. And yes, guys, I am trying to make this as quick as possible because I don't want them to be repeats of, like what we've discussed last week. But I mean, I guess if you are just coming into this, you probably do need a little bit of explanation here. But yeah, so you get your monthly view, and I just started off by taking all of the bills that I know I have for the month and I put them on the days that they are due. Um, Okay, what else did I add to this thing? Okay, of course, my paydays are highlighted in green. And then that takes us to my sidebar here. So I do a $5 a day saving thing, and I transfer the money into the savings, which is this thing. So since it's $5 a day, we got 31 days. That gives me 155. So I split it up into 75 and 80. I only take that money out or transfer it. Normally it's transferred into a savings account. Currently it's being taken out so I could show you. Um, but yeah, that's only done on paydays. So I did mark those down there. Okay, and then I took my account focus or focus account. Here we go again, talking backwards. Again, I'm used to voiceovers, so I'm hoping that after doing 52 of these, I'll be better at talking on camera. Hopefully, probably not. But yeah, no, so this is my focus account, and as you can see, I took the total that I was supposed to pay, which you probably can't see it. There it is. So that total, we divvied that sucker up, and it turned out to be 36. And I just did the extras. Now, technically, I wasn't supposed to pay Walmart off until next week, but it was a $10 difference. I'm not waiting 7 days for $10. So that's done with. He's gone. So that's nice. And now I gotta figure out, do I want a week off next week? Or am I gonna put some extra funds on the Coles? So that's why I said I got something to think about here during this week. And what else do I got? Okay, so I have my credit card, no credit card challenge. And I mean, I'm kicking butt in this. There has been no day whatsoever in this month where I have actively pulled out a credit card and said, I'm using this. If you would have asked me that December 31st, I would have told you you were crazy. Excuse me. Oh my god. Okay. Again, I'm not used to talking this much, but yeah. So we have not actively used the credit cards. You will see that there have been times of where I was doing like what are they called? Like a drive-through order, like I was ordering food and it was on a mobile app and I swear it said it was coming out of the PNC Bank. I swear I even actively went on there and deleted the credit cards. Because it made me really mad the first time and somehow or another it still ended up charging to one of those cards. So we quickly nullified that charge, but I can see from that happening how where in my mind I thought that it was coming out of the bank, and of course I wasn't checking the logs like I am now. So yeah, I can see how some of these cards have added up the way they did, because in my mind I wasn't using them. But yeah, like Taco Bell or Wendy's decided other for me. So yeah. So there's been no day whatsoever to where I've actively knowingly used that card. And we are trying our best to eliminate those surprise mistake ones. The activated you was a pay in four, which I have yet to make a pay in four this month, so that's really cool. So I don't have to worry about those popping out of my bank account anymore. And I did find some subscriptions that I did not realize that I still had and I don't use. So we canceled those. So that's really nice. And yeah, so I mean, like you could even see, like, this is today's date, and I've already have Monday and Tuesday paid up. And so I'm basically paid up to next payday, and we'll just take care of these on that payday. And then we'll be done for January, guys. Woo! So let's see here. So where are we at? So we're gonna start on the 15th. Because this is, yeah, see, yeah. Okay, so yeah. See, I think this is the last time that I talked to you. I went shopping with the Pops. He likes to spend, so I like made sure that there was no way that I could overspend. And of course, I was reviewing in the log and that, and I'm writing all my stuff down. And okay, so this week was highly stressful. I don't know what was going on, what was in the air, but I did learn from this because up until this week, me coming in and doing the log and that, it was fine. Like, as you can see, like almost every day, it was like, yeah, we're doing this. This week, not so much. I had to force myself to do this. And it made me start wondering, like, why? Because things are still going well. So, yeah. So, I mean, I did go back. There was a couple times where I had to backlog. So, as you can see, I did not fill this out on this day. I didn't even fill this one out on this day. Okay? But I did do it on this day. So, this was one of those days of where I was like, okay, dude, you got to do this. It doesn't do itself. And it was one of these where like I was kind of like projecting through the month, and I noticed like, hey, I'm not seeing Netflix or Hulu. Okay, like I know these things come out, but I'm not seeing them on my January or not January, but December statement. So I had to go back to the sites and figure out where they're coming from. And it's like, yep, again, they're coming out of a card. Okay. And who was it? Yes. Okay, so it was the Wendy's trip. It took it out of Mercury, even though I swear it said PNC. That's what it said on the screen. And somehow or another, it got taken out of there. So that's what started it. And then I started going back and I'm looking at my December statement and I'm like, where the heck are Netflix and Hulu? So I started looking through them and yeah, so those definitely got changed. And this, I went through, I deleted it again, but that's what really prompted me to go back and do this. So, I mean, if you are new to budgeting, if you are getting into it, heck, I've been doing budgeting for 4 years now. If you've like discover that you're not like logging or into it as much for like 1 or 2 days, just literally stop for 5 minutes and fill it out. You'll thank yourself, okay? Like your future self will thank you because that probably would have been the moment where I gave up. So, we keep moving on. And yeah, so after yesterday's mishaps, I'd better go through my accounts and check where and how I'm getting billed. uh, yeah. So again, like I removed all the cards from the GPay. I unsubscribed emails. I learned how to like mass unsubscribe, so that was kind of fun. So I don't have to look at that anymore. And yeah, okay, yeah. And then of course, like there's times at work that we'll like mass order our dinners, and it gets a little tricky. Definitely when you're budgeting. So I needed this amount for my bank account so that I knew how much that was. But for every dollar, I needed that amount because that's actually what I spent on myself. But I need to know this for this, but that doesn't go into every dollar. So that's where it gets a little tricky. Which of course, then you have to explain to them like I can't use the 20 you gave me because it needs to go into my account. Because I'm not paying $31 for you to eat. So yeah. Um okay, so yeah, and like this part up here too, like it seems corny, but this is actually like really helping too because it's not just all about the numbers. It's not money coming in, money coming out. This is actually giving me a chance to joke around about what's happening, think about what's happening, reflect about what's happening, question what's happening. So it's a different way of thinking about money. And yeah, this is when I started really noticing like I am losing momentum this week. And I'm not quite sure what is actually causing it. I think it's just work stress. But I mean, I don't know. The more I do this, maybe I'll figure it out. But I mean, I do have a lot of bills coming out at this time of the month. Oh, this guy needs one. And yeah, so I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's because there's a ton of information going in and out, and maybe it just makes me tired. So again, there's another one, and yes, it took it out of Mercury again, guys. See, it did. And I removed it, but it's still there. That's driving me insane. But at least now I know to look for it. I mean, I've deleted it. I've deleted it from net accounts, like, I think this third time. I gotta figure out how to get that off up there. It is driving me crazy. And you know, I do have to see, this is an auto pay anyways. So, I mean, it's going to be taken out, but I don't remember seeing it on my bank statement, which is why it's not on there. So I do have to go back later on today to see if that thing appeared. And okay, so that brings us to yesterday and today, which is nothing more exciting than utilities. So again, like, I've used 21 days of non-credit card use. That's kind of cool. And again, the Every Dollar app, which at first I didn't like this thing. I thought it was like excessive, but it is starting to help me understand my spending habits and that. So like the pay in fours, like you saw, I had the activated U one in the beginning. So I'm looking at the Every Dollar app, and I'm like, okay, I still have $50 in cat food. Like, why am I not spending $50 in cat food? Like, his food is still very well stocked up. I mean, like, Kitty has enough to feed him for, God, I think there's like 3 or 4 weeks sitting right behind me. And what it is I batch buy his food, and the activated U I consider like a vitamin, and I batch buy that as well. So that's the pay in force. That's why I can't take that amount out of my bank account, and why I'm like, oh, I'll just do the pay in four, because you're not paying any more. It's just you're dividing it into fours. So that's what's causing that. So I'm not actually spending 50 a month. I would be spending 50 a month if I had to pay in four. So I need to start making like little mini savings accounts for those type of expenses. So, I mean, that is one thing I've never actually really thought about or considered. And it's funny because I did make that 6 week savings goal in for the Vita Authority, because I do need that at the end of February. So, yeah, I noticed that then, but I wasn't able to click that I need the pay in fours amount until I looked at the Every Dollar app. So, yeah. Weird things you learn by doing new things. So, let's see here. This is a good thing. I do try to highlight all the good things. And I don't have to do paid off, but yes, we paid off the Walmart account at 8 a.m. Never thought that I would wake up early and be excited about paying bills, but that one is done. So that's it, guys, because as you can see, like, we would just be moving into next week. Those are the ones that I already got paid. I even did do like a quick budget projection for next week. This is how I knew if I could afford to pay the Walmart off. Again, because I didn't want to break myself, but then, like, once I saw it was $10, I was like, we're good. We're good. We could definitely do that. And yeah, so this is it. This is all we have left for January, and I believe January 31st is here. So, I mean, we're kicking butt. I'll probably be building this later on today because, I mean, I figure I might as well. Why wait? let's get February ready to go, because I mean, I do like being able to look ahead. It gives me something to look forward to. So that's it, guys. That's where I am with my budget right now. And I mean, things are moving along. It's gonna be a slow process. But it's always good to see progress. So here's to looking for February, and hopefully we'll get this whole thing. He'll be eliminated, and then we could just keep moving right along and getting these things out of the way. So, I want to take this time out to say thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. And please remember to hit that like and subscribe button to see more Plan With Me's.